Oh my gosh. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? I am so glad to see you here today. My name is Suzanne Castle, and you're jumping in with me to spend just a little bit of time, figuring out what is going on in the world as far as our joy train, our happiness, all those things like that. And gosh, I am so glad that you're here today. So, why don't you take just a moment and drop into the chat box where you're watching from, and we'll give folks just another minute or so to jump in before we dive right into the training, which is all about helping happiness to happen regardless of what is going on in our lives. So let's see who we have jumping in right now. I see you've got some people on YouTube, some people on Facebook. So welcome, welcome. Hi, Melissa. Happy Tuesday. Yes, steamy and hot is the name of the game in Texas these days. It seems so high. Chris, also watching from Texas. Glad that you're here with me today. And let's go ahead and we are going to jump right in because there is a whole lot to discover today with us with helping happiness to happen. I just want you to think for just a minute about that and what that phrase actually means for you. What does it mean when I say helping happiness to happen? Are you helping happiness to happen with what you're doing? I want to take a stab at something. Maybe your days, they're a little meh. Maybe your days aren't full of energy. Maybe they're not full of zeal. Maybe you're looking for someone or something to come along, and then your happiness vault will be all filled. Hi, Sue, watching in from Midland, Texas. Hi, Wendy. She's checking us out in Arizona. So, is that resonating with you at all? Maybe you're burned out. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're stressed out. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Hi, Myra. So is this part of why you're jumping in today? Let me know in the chat if any of those things hold true. Your days aren't full of energy. You're feeling kind of meh. You're waiting for something else or someone to come along. You're burned out. You're stressed. You're frustrated. You're overwhelmed. Whatever it is, let me know if that's kind of where you might be settling into today. See, here's the thing though. Most of us have things right in front of us every day that could make us deliriously happy in a hurry. It's just that we might have a mindset block or probably usually habits that aren't helping us capture that happiness for our own selves. And so today I'm going to help you change your life, help you uncover happiness in a hurry and get you back to joy. Does that sound good? If so, give me some thumbs up or that sounds good or whatever in the chat. My road, if you don't know who I am, like that of most artists, has really not been straight nor narrow. So early years in my life were packed to the brim with dance and acting classes. There were coaching sessions, there was film and theater roles, there was teaching, there was music, and it really set an unsustainable pace that was stopped abruptly by a family tragedy. My plans were not from the spotlight into the shadows, and this kind of quieter season of seminary and several ivory tower degrees kind of allowed me to have a subtle reinvention of myself. And in this spotlit less season I found myself in, I really found my love for fostering the creative spirit of joy in others. And my commitment now is to seeing and amplifying that same spirit. And it began to set the stage for the work that I do today. Hi, Crystal. Glad to see you today. Now it's my joy to foster possibilities for others through one-on-one coaching or through group retreats and events, through speaking engagements and well-crafted stories, art projects, imaginative thinking. And today that's all about helping happiness happen regardless of what life is throwing our way. We have to imagine it differently. And so I promise that at the end of today, what we are going to do is we are going to discover 4 key attitude shifts to start showing up happy in our lives and maybe in our business. And I'm going to share the powerful hack that you can make right now to bring balance and joy back to that frantic mess of life that we find ourselves in that really is a thief of joy. And finally, I'm going to give you 3 simple action steps that you can take right now that will help make happiness happen. And I'm going to be giving you a free resource to help that happen. So make sure you stay on to the end and you're going to feel happier in a hurry. So let's dive in, shall we? There's a whole lot to get through. So the first thing that we want to talk about are the 4 key attitude shifts for a happy life. You might want to jot some of these down. You see, happiness is one of life's simplest concepts, and yet I find it sometimes difficult to come by. You've probably gone through times where you wondered why your life is less than happy. Am I right? Well, let me share something with you. Look at this. The approximate percentage of your happiness that is truly up to you is about 40%. Let that sit in with you and sink in. Is that just mind blowing? Let me know in the chat. The approximate percentage of your happiness that is truly up to you is about 40%. It's an oversimplification, I think, to say that every single person can control exactly 40% of their happiness. But scientists have determined that your happiness level is the result of kind of this complex interaction of genes and behaviors, of life circumstances. And while each person has a genetic set point for happiness, kind of like we do for weight, a big chunk of how you feel is under your control. So meaning the way that you spend your time and the thoughts that you allow to linger can really impact your mood and your long-term happiness. Hi, Mary Beth. So let's jump in with something that we can control with that 40%, right? And that is our key attitudes. So the first one is being positive. You hear this all the time, but literally having a positive view on life is an effective way to ensure happiness. And although you'll have difficult times, there's usually a positive outcome, or at the very least, a lesson that can be learned. So here are ways to kind of stay in that positive attitude mindset. Make an effort to overlook the negative aspects of a situation. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to change what happened. I get that, but you can definitely decide how you can respond. So things like positive thinking, it will give you confidence to go after goals. So right now, I want you to consider a time that you've doubted your ability to do something. Is it in your brain? Or maybe it's right now? Now, how often do you think you're able to succeed when you doubt yourself? Exactly. See, when you think positive, you're able to hold your head up regardless of the situation. You know that your future is really defined by what happens to you in the present. And so your mindset, your eyes, your shift that you make in yourself is that I am going to learn something from what's happening, and I'm going to be confident that what I am learning is going to lead me to the next thing. So when you begin to embrace positive thoughts, happiness just has a way of coming your way. So one way to do this is called reframing. It's taking the negative thought and switching it around. And so we start to slip in a mindset of things like, okay, life shouldn't have to be this hard, right? I hear that everywhere I go right now. Life shouldn't have to be this hard. Or what's wrong with me that I have so many challenges? Or even my life is cursed. But when you reframe that situation, you take that and you switch it around. And you could say things, instead of life shouldn't be this hard, you could say something like, I wonder what life is teaching me. Or how did I show up in this challenge that I wouldn't have shown up with last year at this time, right? If we continue to play these same thoughts over and over in our mind, they become more believable. And so one of the skills that helps us develop as mature, resilient individuals is that of reframing. Hi, Belinda. Glad that you're here with us. Hi, Maxie. You see, when we change our point of view, hi, Julie, on any given situation, when you change our point of view, the facts remain the same, but there's a deliberate shift in how we see it. Hi, Charles. Glad that you're here with us today. So that's reframing. And as we shift our thinking about our situation, there's a change in our emotional tone as well, right? Not just how we're seeing it, but meaning that we give to life in our circumstances. So we can choose to move our experience from this negative frame to a more hopeful one, filled with opportunities. And this process then allows this kind of expanded view of our reality. So one example of reframing, like I said, is redefining the problem as a challenge. And such a redefinition actually activates a different way of being, and it forces your brain to look differently in a problem. So for example, problem has a heavy quality to it, right? But if you switch that, if you even reframe that word to challenge, that can be enlivening. It's kind of action focused, right? And a lot of us are driven by succeeding in a greater race. So challenge is better than problem, right? Another key attitude shift that we need to make is to be grateful. It's something easy to overlook, Especially now when you turn on the TV, it's easy to overlook that there are blessings, right? Negative circumstances really can cloud your vision. But when you possess what's called an attitude of gratitude, you've heard that around, you'll find that happiness pushes you through your gloomy days. So even when a situation has a less than favorable outcome, you can avoid dwelling on it. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying like stick your head in the sand, but I'm saying you don't have to just live in that space all the time, right? Instead, be grateful for the experience. And now, one of the great things that I have found is now I'll know how to proceed better the next time, right? So I like to make time during my day to meditate on the things that I'm thankful for. And I noticed that at the end of that session with myself, this kind of relief tends to fall over me. And that relief represents happiness from knowing that I'm truly blessed. You should really try it sometime. And a grateful attitude will also help you be satisfied with what you have instead of wishing you were in someone else's shoes. And we have definitely all been there. Another attitude shift is to be kind. You see, many of us misunderstand what kindness really is. So let me lay some truth down on you, okay? True kindness is often experienced when you sacrifice something that you have and you want to meet someone else's needs. Have you ever heard of that definition of kindness before? Let me know in the chat box. True kindness is often experienced when you sacrifice something you have and want to meet someone else's needs. So ask yourself right now, how many times have you been truly kind today? How many times? 1, none, 50? You'll recognize true kindness comes from the warmth that you feel inside after sharing something material or even a kind word. It doesn't have to be a big extravagant gesture, but it's just paying attention, right, to things that you have that someone else needs. And approaching others with a heart of kindness then allows you to deal with situations without getting angry, right? Happiness thrives in the absence of anger. So one of the questions I ask my clients often is when they come with a lot of rage or anger is, okay, why are you holding on to that, right? And we start working on acts of kindness to help their body understand that they got to release that anger to get on that happiness bus, right? Another key attitude shift is to be forgiving. It's easy to let feelings of hurt and anger affect our desire to forgive others. And I got to tell you, I struggle with this, right? I'm sure you do too. But it's necessary to forgive in order to live a truly happy life. When you forgive, you let go of your pain. And letting go then makes room for peace of your soul. It makes room for peace of your mind. And that peace can lead to happiness. So if you're having trouble being happy, one of the questions that you might need to ask yourself is, what am I holding on to? What have I not forgiven? What kind of petty action am I just living into? You see, practicing forgiveness will help you grow and lead a happy and mature life. In growth and development, they poise you for success and joy. And I know everyone on here right now, you want to be successful in whatever it is that you're doing in the world. Whether it's I want to be a successful grandparent, or I want to be a successful parent. I want to be a successful entrepreneur. I want to be a successful manager. I want to be a successful servant in my church or my faith community. And these 4 key attitudes to living a happy life, they might seem simple enough. I get it. Right now, you're probably like, oh, I'm tuning into this for that. But that one shift that you make right now in those attitudes is to try practicing them one at a time until you're comfortably happy with your progress. So choose one. Choose one that you think you're struggling with and decide for the next 10 days, the next 20 days, I'm going to practice that. So which key shift do you want to work on first? If you're brave, let me know in the chat box. I'd love to know, which key shift are you going to be working on first? Happiness strategy hack is really important. So I promised you that I'd give you a powerful strategy hack to bring back joy and balance, and here it is. If your life has you running about like a chicken with your head cut off, shifting your attitude won't always work, right? I get that. I know that. Instead, you need to bring some balance. So how can you be more productive? What can you do to improve the quality of life? How do you regain that balance? Well, I have a few key ideas for you here. 1, slow down. If you're feeling overwhelmed and it seems like you're running in circles, sometimes the best thing to do is step back and slow down. Just slow down. Take the time to prioritize what you're doing. You know, going faster doesn't mean that you're more productive or that you can accomplish more things. Doing things right the first time is going to save time in the long run, so just slow down. Second thing is to stop procrastinating. There are certain things about any job, any chore that we have to do in our house that are mundane, that we don't like, that don't bring us joy. But if you take time to do the tedious parts of that first, you can breathe a sigh of relief sooner. So, what I invite my clients to do is I say, stop procrastinating and put the things you really don't like to do or the mundane tasks that just drive you batty, put them at the top of your list and get two of them done before you do something that you really, really enjoy. So schedule an afternoon, maybe finish those pesky tasks that you can move on to more interesting or even fun things like, get your taxes done. So then you can go binge watch the latest and greatest thing on Hulu or Amazon or Netflix or whatever, right? And then simplify. Don't make things complicated. As humans, we tend to make extra work for ourselves, even if it's unnecessary. So why do we reinvent the wheel all the time? If something works, don't try to fix it. I love that KISS method, right? Keep it simple, silly. So simplify. Don't make things complicated. Find something that's already worked for someone else and replicate it. It's okay. You don't have to always be in creation mode. And then finally, learn to say no. When your workload is maxed out, be assertive about saying no. Help your boss understand that your plate is full and you're not being insubordinate, but you want to bring your best self to work. Help your friends and family know that to be your best self, you need to not do this one thing at this one time. It doesn't mean for forever. It means for now. Right? Yes. Myra says she likes to say, keep it simple, sweetie. Yes, that's absolutely true. So these are just some quick things that you can do. And let's talk about some 3 steps that we can actually take to happiness, right? If there's one thing that I have learned is that many wise people throughout history have realized, it's that life has a unique sense of humor, right? Think about 1 year ago right now. What were you doing? What were you doing in July of 2019? I was traveling a ton. I was getting ready to speak at a huge event. I was about to produce a large event. My business was kind of in this kind of sizzle mode and everything was happening. I was vacationing. Friends were coming over, right? Where were you a year ago? Yeah, life has a crazy, unique sense of humor and likes to sometimes throw us a curveball, right? So why else would happiness be something that almost everyone wants, everyone covets, and yet only few ever realize in their lifetime? There are actually 3 simple steps that you can do to get you happy in no time flat and to get you back to a sense of humor about what's happening. So let's go through those quickly, okay? So the first one would be to foster a sense of appreciation. Now, this is not the same thing as attitude of gratitude that I was talking about earlier. It's possible that you can take certain aspects of your life for granted. This could include anything from having a car, having shelter, having food to eat, and many other aspects of our lifestyle that really a majority of the people on this planet could only dream of. For one reason or another, people who are consistently happy seem to be content and appreciate what they have. So the mindset in which you take nothing for granted will usually require no more than a shift in your attitude. You won't have to change anything about your external circumstances. So to remind yourself to be appreciative, try this hack. Make it a point to reflect on everything that you're thankful for once a day. Make a list. You could even voice list it to your phone, right? Doing this as you fall asleep each night, honestly, that helps to brush the cares away. It sets your brain for positive sleeping experience. And when you fall into restful slumber, it prepares the way for a great tomorrow. Another thing to do is to really, this is one that people got to get tripped up with from time to time, is to be realistic about achieving goals. Now, I ran a goal getting challenge a couple of weeks ago and it was great. And I'm all about goal getting. But the thing is, you need to be realistic about your goal getting. So, for example, if you expect success to come overnight, unless you've just won the lottery, it's a sure recipe for disappointment. If you think another job is going to make you more successful and it's going to give you the life that you dream, got to be honest with you, there's still stuff about every job that's going to be yucky and you still have to work hard. You see, happy people are realistic. And happy people tend to be pragmatic when it comes to setting and achieving their goals. You see, they understand how much time and effort may be required to achieve a goal. And if they ever fall short, they'll put in the necessary additional work required to reach their goal. So if you're not happy with one of your goals right now, the one thing I would look at first is how much time are you doing? What have you learned from that? What are you changing when something doesn't work, right? People who are always happy also are aware of the fact that just because they are putting in all of the necessary work to achieve a goal, there's not a guarantee that their goal will ever be reached. That is such an important statement. Now, I don't want that to sound pessimistic, but it's merely to state that happy people are aware of the possibility that there are external factors like COVID that are outside of our control that could easily change an outcome. So being aware of this really helps lessen the blow when unforeseen circumstances like this virus arise around us. And so coming up with a plan and being prepared and wondering what life is throwing at you just really sets you in a different way to say, okay, now how realistic can I be? Okay, boom, something happens. Okay, now how realistic can I be? And pivoting and changing and imagining and creating a different pathway will keep you back into that happiness mindset. Another thing is to put others first, right? So achieving happiness can sometimes be the opposite of what you might think. So you may be wondering how you can bring yourself closer to achieving happiness if you put others first. Well, here's the thing. Putting other people first automatically requires you to have a more humble approach, to have an appreciative outlook on life. And in addition to this, making others happy will invariably bring you more happiness in your own life. So if you're unhappiness, one of the things I would say is, are you volunteering? Are you serving? Are you trying to help somebody who's less fortunate than you are? You see, if you take some time to begin integrating the above approaches that I've just talked about into your daily living, you'll find that happiness has always been just around the corner, waiting for you to discover it because you've got different eyeballs about it and you've got a different mindset about it and you change some attitudes about it. And then suddenly you're going to be noticing happiness everywhere. And now, instead of waiting for happiness to happen, you're going to make it happen, right? You're going to help it happen for yourself. Now, I get it. I know that it is easy to stay on the overwhelmed merry-go-round. It's easy to stay stuck. I've been there. I get it. But life doesn't have to be one giant energy suck. There are tangible ways to control the chaos and build a life of joy using habits that build upon each other. So do you want to seize each day and have every day that full energy and enthusiasm each and every single day? Let me know in the chat if you want to just seize every day with everything that you got, with gusto, with verve, with mojo, all this energy and enthusiasm. Let me know. Is that what you want to do with your life? To show up every day with that kind of energy? Now, if that's the case, and several of you, I know that it is, then I want you to toss aside the burned out, frustrated, stressed out, overwhelmed self that you are right now. And I want you to let me help you step into your full potential to help you achieve any goal you set your mind to. I promised you a freebie, and it's coming in just a second. But how can I help you do that? Well, by discovering a simple and powerful way to create habits. So these happiness habits that you create are a regular way of life for you. And it's all part of a new program called Habitual Happiness. And in Habitual Happiness, what I'm helping clients do is unleash their best selves into the world so that you keep attracting your best life. I'm helping people tap into bliss. The most impactful mission that you have in life is a life of bliss. You'll also get to tap into an unlimited supply of happiness, create more time for yourself, for your loved ones, and that oh-so-needed vacation that we really all need right now, right? I'm also helping people create goal-getting strategies to help boost happiness by achieving wild, amazing, big, hairy dreams. And along the way, I'm teaching them to master the 7 habits that you need to joyful and abundant living. Here's how it works. So there's 6 modules that you get with me, a happiness resource bin that has 24 different tools to help you create the habits you need. I've got MP3 meditation and happiness audio files that you can listen to when you need a little reset. And it's about $3,500, the value for this, because it's a beefy course. But you know what? Others might not want that. Others want a real live experience. And that's why I created Verve last year. You may have seen some promotion about it. Verve is a day-long encounter where people get together, create magical ways to show up in our lives and in our businesses. And it's set around real-world training on mindset theory, creating a life of dazzling goals and goodness, and then embarking on a vision of mojo that helps anyone be radiant. And that all-inclusive top-notch training ticket this year is worth $200. It's really a stunning experience, and it's coming back in August. It's a virtual day-long event this year. But we all could use some joy, right? And with things all topsy-turvy in our world, I think we should all be doing our best to help each other and help each other reach a better place. And I don't want you to have to choose. So here's what I'm doing. I'm offering a bundle today for those of you that are watching live or on replay. I want this to be an easy yes for you. Yes, this is different than the freebie. It's coming in just a second. But before I dive into how much this offer is, I want to do something with you, okay? I want you to first just like maybe even close your eyes. And I want you to set aside what you think the price is for just a second. Because regardless of what's swirling around us in the world, regardless of what's unraveling in our careers, what chaos awaits us at home, if you could show up and if you could feel like happiness is happening all around you all the time, and if you could feel that you have goals worth getting, and if you feel that your attitude has shifted and your family is back on track and your relationships are sizzling again and your career is rising to new heights, what would that be worth to you? How valuable would that be to your spouse, to your loved ones, to see you so happy? How about to your friends, your colleagues, the places you serve? How valuable would it be to show up with a joy-framed mindset and then begin to radiate it out to the world? How many lives could you change then? When you show up different, different things show up. And if nothing changes, then, nothing changes. But what if you could change for you? I want you to jot down on that paper that you have, just jot down how you feel. If you want to, you can put it in the chat box. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking for you to do a little internal check-in with yourself. How would you feel? Well, here's how you can say yes to that feeling. Here's how you can say yes to that reality that I just described for you. A shift in attitude, goals worth getting, your family's back on track, your relationships are sizzling, your career is rising to new heights, you're serving people, you're radiating happiness. Here's how you can say yes. You could go on my website. You could check it out right now, SuzanneCastle.com, and you'll find the Habitual Happiness training. It's there. I put it on sale right now for $4.99. You could click on it and you could buy it right now. And this week, later on, when I announce Verve, because I haven't announced it yet, you could go back on my website, SuzanneCastle.com, and you could buy a Verve ticket for $199 and then plan on showing up in late August. Or you could dive in with both for $599, which is about $100 savings, right? Great bundle. That's still a great deal, right? Because we're talking about almost $3,600 of stuff. But since you were here and you stayed on with me all of this time, I'm also adding some bonuses right now besides the freebie that's coming in just a second. So the bonuses include a one-to-one coaching session with me that's about $250. And in that session, we'll help you discover what habits are tripping you up and a plan to move forward living your best life. But bonuses about email support from me, text support with me with best tips to keep you rocking your happy life. I'm going to throw in a happiness planner that will help you plan and track your happiness habits for a full year. And that's, probably about $4,500 right there. And it's worth every single penny. One participant, Heather, that's taken this program, noted that she's gotten closer to defining what it is that she needs for life to feel more meaningful. And that I helped her identify what that she was actually doing that was interfering with experiencing joy. And from that, she's able to up level in her career, change her jobs, and her marriage is doing fantastic. So instead of $4,500 or hey, even $3,500, or how about the price listed on my website of $499 for the course and $199 for the ticket, $599, I just said, how does $397 sound? And guess what? There's even a 3-payment plan to you because I want you to say yes to making happiness happen for yourself. So how do you jump into this? Well, here's how I want you to do. I want you to just put jump in the comments. Literally, JUMP in the comments, and I'm going to reach out to you because I want you to get started today on your happy work. But I did say there was a freebie just for tuning in, and guess what? There definitely is. Are you ready for it? It's the 15 ways to feel happier in a hurry checklist. So this checklist will keep you idea heavy when life is just trying, when you're having that day where nothing is working. You worked on your attitude, you worked on your mindset, you're trying these things, and life is just one big bowl of yuck. I have 15 strategies, a checklist that you can go through like this. And it's going to help you notice joy, reframe your attitude, and quickly get you back on the happy trail again. And I'm going to send it to all of you in just a minute. There is a link that you can use, but if you just comment, I'm going to send it your way, so don't worry at all. I see all of you on here. Let's see if I can hop that link in real quick in the chat. Give me 1 second, and you can go right away and figure that out. 1 second. Here is the link. Boom. So there's your link that you need. But here's the thing. I get that we all want to keep making sure that we are finding many ways to feel happier, right? Not just in a hurry, but, for an actual lifetime. And so one of the things that I have begun to put together for that is not only this checklist, but one more tip. See, aren't you glad that you stayed on till the very end? Let's do one more tip. It's good to watch the whole training, isn't it? If you're feeling a little down in the dumps, I want you to consider trying to smell some citrus. Now, yeah, I get it. You don't want to carry oranges around everywhere you go. You could use essential oils, or you could peel an orange, lemon, lime. They work. A pineapple would work, tangerine. See, science journals continue to unpack the power of smell to reframe our brains, and citrus smells have continued to help people who are depressed, who are anxious. And hospitals in Japan right now are using citrus in their air system to help uplift emotions for patients. So one tip that you could do right now is to go get your citrus on. All right, friends, that's it. I'm glad that you stayed. I'll be delighted to walk with you through Habitual Happiness. Don't forget, you get the Habitual Happiness 6-module course, the Happiness Resource Bin of 24 tools. There's MP3 meditations. There's a one-to-one coaching session, a happiness planner. There's email and text support. There's pop-up group coach trainings. And there's a ticket to Verve. That event is on August 29th. August 29th, you just heard it first, worldwide. I haven't even put it out anywhere. All for $397, which is 3 payments of $135. So type jump if you didn't already in the chat box, and I'll get you all signed up before I begin to do cartwheels because you took action. And whether or not you decide to do that, I'm glad that you did this. This training is going to stay up for a while, so you can go back. I know I went fast. Be sure and download that 15 happier ways to kind of reset yourself in a hurry. And this special deal is going to go away on August 1st when my new website launches again. So I don't want you to wait to jump in, okay? I'm going to stay on for a few moments because I did promise you that if you had any questions, I would help with that I can from any material today. So this is your chance to get some answers. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to come on. And if you have a question, if you'll jot it in the comments, I'm going to sit on here for just a few minutes and let's see if we can get you all lined out for what you need. And you can even ask a question about the program if you like to, and I can see if I can answer that quickly for you. So whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, remember, that's the link that you can copy in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, and it will take you to that Happiness in a Hurry checklist. So just copy that link and it'll go right there. And it'll zoom to your inbox in just a second. Let's wait just another minute. Any questions? Type fast, type fast. Okay, well, no question right now, but you can always reach out to me. My email is my name, Suzanne, at SuzanneCastle.com, and that's the easiest way to reach me, and I would love to have a conversation with you. And if you're not sure if this program is for you, let's get on the phone, right? Nobody gets on the phone anymore. I love being on the phone. So let's get on the phone and let's see if we can, and you might need something different than this, and I'm happy. I'm the first person to say if this isn't for you, I will always tell you that. But I am so glad that you joined in today. Again, my name is Suzanne Castle, and you can help make happiness happen for you today. I believe in you. I want you to believe in you. I will see you again next time. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day.